What is up, everybody? We are back with Front Office Football 8, Season 2. Now, in case you missed Season 1, let me just give a quick overview. Each season is going to be 20 episodes, and we play one season per episode. So our first season was us playing 20 years as the Jacksonville Cougars. And this time we're going to be taking over a different team. I'm going to make a number of references back to season 1. And at the end of this season, I do want to do a top 10 players list kind of thing again. So watching season 1 would probably be beneficial for those of you that are just joining now. And 2, during season 1, I mentioned that I wanted to run season 2 with a higher injury rating. I don't know exactly why, but for some reason, when I was trying to run the simulation of the 50 years with the higher injury rating, my file kept getting corrupted. I don't know if this actually has to do with the higher injury rating, but I reverted the injury rating to 125, which is what I used in season 1, and it then generated the 50-year history without a problem. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that, but thinking about it, I kind of want to run it with the same injury setting because it will keep the stats comparable between our first team and our second team. If we bumped up the injury, I was going to basically 3 times the injury rate, and that would just cause some inconsistencies with some of the numbers and stuff. So to keep things kind of level playing ground, we're going to run the same exact injury rating as we did for season 1. With that, we are going to get started. So, to get started, we have to pick our team. So here we're going to look at the, let's look at the team history and win comparison. Yeah, we'll start here. So, if you remember last time, we took over Jacksonville, which were dead last in the list. And if I remember correctly, they were dead last by a decent margin. Here we actually have a number of teams that have really never done all that well. Well, that's not true. They've all done decently. We don't have any that are significantly low win rates. I don't even think this is a 40% win rate. So these are all pretty even across the board. Right now it shows that we have Baltimore selected because that's who I ran the simulation as, but that doesn't matter at all. So let's look at how teams have done in the past 10 years. All right, so the past 10 years, we would be looking at Tampa Bay. What is AQU? That's a new team. Some city moved. And then we have Denver. And if I remember correctly, Denver was the worst team technically overall. So maybe we'll be taking over Denver. Let's take a little bit of a deeper look into them. If it's not Denver, maybe we'll take over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's 4th worst overall and has been the worst the past 10 years. So let's take a look at those two teams in a little bit more detail. So let's see here. We got ourselves Denver. What is AQ, by the way? Albuquerque. Okay. I don't know which team moved. I would have to sit here and analyze that a little bit. I'm not going to do that here live. Denver. All right. So in the past 10 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, so this previous year isn't on here yet. It doesn't look like they've ever hit playoffs in the past 10 years. It looks like they have also never won a Super Bowl. And if we look here, there's really only been, they've honestly been a pretty across the board even team, but they definitely have more losing seasons than winning seasons. So Denver actually is looking like a great option. Let's take a quick look at Tampa Bay, though, just to determine if they are potentially a better fit. Tampa Bay here, while they've been a little bit weaker in the recent years, they do have 3 Super Bowls under their belt. So I say we take over Denver, another team that has been struggling a lot recently, never won the Super Bowl. Let's do it. So before we actually take them over, let's take a look at what our roster is going to look like. Denver. Start out with our starting lineup. All right. So quarterback is definitely a weak spot. We're looking at only a 42 there. We do have a young and good running back and fullback. Let's see how this running back is actually doing. Okay, he only started half of the games this past year. And it was to a... Ooh, actually, he had a couple of injuries. Okay. Year before that, though, he only averaged a 3.2. So, honestly, even though he has really great ratings, the stats are not currently backing that up. So that's definitely something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We have a really good fullback here. Tight end, it looks like that was our draft pick last year, and it looks like they're supposed to get up to a 70. Our wide receivers are relatively weak. Front line on offense is also not looking too pretty. We have a really good defensive front three. One decent linebacker, but he's also getting old. And then our secondary is not the prettiest. So, let's take one look a little bit further down here. Do we have any other quarterbacks here? Maybe one got injured or something? No. Okay. So, this is almost going back to the same situation we had in season 1. Quarterback is definitely going to be our biggest concern. We have to get somebody in there that's going to be able to run this offense. Actually, real quick, how did this team actually do last year? Because full standings, Denver, where are you? Okay, Denver finished 4-11-1. So I think, unless it got traded away from us, we should have second overall pick. So hopefully that will help us out. Indianapolis is the only team that did worse than us. How's Indianapolis looking? All right, Indianapolis has significantly bigger problems than us on offense. So hopefully... Oh, and they actually drafted a rookie that doesn't look like he got to start much. Oh, no, he got to start a little bit. Okay, so that means we should have first shot at a quarterback here, which will be very nice. Let's go ahead. Hop into season 1. Let's do this thing. I'm so pumped to be back in this game. All right, so first off, we need to look at transaction log. Did we lose anybody to retirement? And we haven't switched teams yet. We are going to be taking over Denver, who lost to safety. Okay. I don't think that safety was high rated anyway. Let's actually make sure we can take over Denver. We can take over Denver. Perfect. All right, we're now Denver. Let's do this thing. What's our stadium looking like? We have a really nice stadium. Poor turf. All right. I actually don't know this answer. I wonder if turf condition leads to more injuries. Would be an interesting thing to know. I don't know that answer. Let's go ahead, hop in here. Now, in terms of the staff, we're coming off of a 4-11 season, which is horrendous. Let's take a quick look at what we're going to need here. So in short, our defensive front running game should be fine. We need to then focus on a couple of other things. And actually, sorting by this view, it looks like our offensive line overall is pretty darn good. Why did I see a different setup there a little bit ago? Maybe a couple of these guys were injured or something. Because here we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 of our starting linemen are at least in the 50 range, and this guy's almost a 70. So that's actually beautiful. We also have a running back who's also a 51. And he's actually done decently. Look at that. All right. Let's take a look at this staff here. So head coach, not the best record as a head coach. He was assistant coach for a while, defensive coordinator, and then came over as head coach. Now, admittedly, he actually did really well with Arizona as their assistant coach and defensive coordinator. So maybe we'll go ahead and keep this guy. think I'm okay with him. Offensive coordinator. Smash Mouth, that's going to be extremely run heavy, which is what we want. The bars overall are pretty good. I would like play calling a little bit higher, but this is overall okay. Just take a quick look at his experience. So he was offensive coordinator at Green Bay, where admittedly they didn't do all that well. He then was head coach for Cincinnati, where they made playoffs, 4 times, but not great. And then he came back as offensive coordinator for us. I might honestly look at switching him out. Defensive coordinator. Young guy, he's only been with us. So we'll need to look into this a little bit. I'm not going to give him a raise right now. Assistant coach, also focused on our secondary. Okay. And our strength coach, we're going to need to get a new one. All right. Let's see. All right, we got one guy that shows that he could be a better head coach for us. Let's take a quick look at him. All right, so he was the head coach over in Carolina. The 3 years that he was there, they never made playoffs, but they did get better each year. And his time as defensive coordinator in Minnesota, they made playoffs every single year. I actually do like this guy's situation here. How long had this guy been our head coach? No, I don't remember. Been our head coach for 2 years. Let's do it. Let's switch things up right away. Get ourselves a new head coach. Get ourselves a new front office here. All right, this guy is mainly focused on running back. Those bars are actually beautiful. He's coming from so he was offensive coordinator, got promoted to head coach. None of this looks good, but if I remember correctly, our guy right now isn't looking too pretty either. Let's go ahead and take him. And he runs spread, which should give us a little bit more of a dynamic playbook. We're going to keep our defensive because he's highly rated here by a long shot. I feel like I might want to grab an assistant coach that's a little bit different. Just because I already have a defensive coordinator highly rated on the secondary. This guy matches my offensive play style, focused on young talent. His interviewing and scouting isn't great, but let's go ahead and give this guy a shot. Then we'll take the best strength coordinator. All right, so coming into Denver, we basically started out by completely getting a new front office, new coaching staff, except for I think one. So that sounds good. We'll recommend prices. Let's see how these prices compare. We're actually a relatively expensive place to go. As a reminder, because we've gone 50 years into the future, all these numbers are going to be inflated. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously, these numbers are ridiculously high, but sounds good to me. Cool, we'll submit that. Is there anybody worth cutting? Let's actually look at it this way. All right, so we got those 2 defensive linemen. They're locked in for the next 4 seasons. That's actually good. Oh, we're actually screwed in terms of our cap. Holy crap. Okay, wait a second here. We're going to need to cut a lot of people. We basically need to cut 52 million off of our situation here. So let's see what we can do here. All right, we have 2 nose tackles who are both very highly paid. How old is this guy? All right, let's see. This actually is going to lead to a very long first episode because we're going to need to figure out what the hell to do with all this. This guy, so far for us, never had a 1,000-yard season. There's no way that he should be getting paid this much. Let me pull up the blue book. Where is it? Franchise player salaries. There we go. All right. Let's go back into that because we need to fix this situation. So this dude is getting paid $31 million, which puts him at like a top 10 wide receiver. He's definitely not that. Hector Riviera. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Are you allowed to trade right now? Looks like you are. Any team show any interest in him? No. All right, you're being cut. I don't have the money to deal with this. Release player. We're paying our defensive front out the wazoo. That's a decent. This guy's probably getting paid too much. He's 13 years in the league, 18 million. He's only on the team one more year, though. Maybe we should just eat that. He only has 1 year left on this, right? Yeah, I'm not going to bother eating that cap. Let's see. We got to take him. We have to take. Man, we're going to have to cut a lot of players. This is position distribution. So we're also going to need to bring in a lot of players. We have to shop at least one or two of these linemen. 66, 79, 81. All right, I say that we shop this guy. Let's see if any team has interest. Lionel. All right, Albuquerque. Let's see. We over salary cap. Okay, so that means that they're probably not going to take him. Let's see if Baltimore will take him or Indianapolis. So what do we ask for a 66 overall 28-year-old defensive lineman who admittedly hasn't started for us the past 2 years? That's an interesting way to try to determine what this guy's worth. The other thing is they're going to be taking a lot of salary for him, so they're probably not going to give us all that much. Let's see if they'll give us a third-round draft pick. Wow. Okay. See if they'll give us a fifth-round draft pick. All right. I know they're not going to like this. Will you give me a fourth? Nope. Okay. I'll take the fifth just because that is better than me just straight cutting this guy. All right. Now we're almost at the point where we're not negative on the year. I mean, a lot of these guys. Let's look at this. Right. This guy doesn't look like he's ever going to do all that well. Let's go ahead and release him. That actually gives me almost nothing back. He's at least got a little bit of a bar in basically everything. This guy needs to be cut. That barely saves me anything. Let's see. We got ourselves a weak wide receiver here. We'll go ahead and cut him. We got punter. Not worried about that, although that's a bad punter rating. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut this guy. All right. Got ourselves another, I was going to say a poor wide receiver here, but this dude was actually first round pick in the second round. Decent bars. We'll keep him around because we're probably going to have to pay. Yeah, because we're going to need to bring in some people for these positions anyway. Let's see. We definitely have to cut some more, though. How much are we paying that quarterback that we're going to replace? Which quarterback is that? I think this is the guy that was starting for us. So he's going to free agency anyway. How much are we paying this guy? He's $10 million. He actually didn't do all that horribly in his starts. So he started, that's not true. His second year, sophomore year, that's a pretty bad stat line. Now, for a sophomore year, it's still bad. I'm not going to lie to myself. We're going to go ahead and release him. All right, this money situation is definitely getting better for us. That guy's already off the team. What position do we still have a lot at, if any? No. Okay. Let's go into free agency with this and see where. Should I try to get rid of one of these? Maybe I should try to get rid of one of these guards. As an example, right? This guard is 8 years in the league, 54. There's this one's 3 years in the league, and it's supposed to be a 53. So maybe this guy, Paul Walsh, might actually be worth trading out. Actually, the weaker rated guy actually has some better stats. So yeah, let's try seeing what we can get for Paul Walsh as well real quick. Paul Walsh. Shot player. No interest. All right. Which means either he's not playing well or he's being paid too much. So let's go ahead, cut him. And that, oh man, that's going to work against my salary bad though. Let's keep him. All right. Let's hop into free agency with that situation and see how things are looking. First and foremost, draft. Or actually third pick. Okay. And there are 2 quarterbacks in the top 3. So that is, it's interesting. The 2 quarterbacks are from Texas and Texas Tech. They're both 11% developed, which means they're both going to have a decent way to go. Let me look at that. So it's Indianapolis and New York. What are their teams looking like? Indianapolis was one that had the young quarterback, right? Yeah. And then New York. Gladiators, I guess it would be. They do not have a quarterback. Okay. Is New York? Is that the right team? Hold up. New York. Yeah, maybe that's just saying. Okay, I think the K is just part of York. Okay. All right. So we might have a shot at one of the 2 quarterbacks. Let's do this. Let's see what free agency looks like. We don't have much money to work with. There's 1 quarterback on here. Oops, didn't mean to click that guy. I meant to click this guy. Whose bars actually look really nice. He has 4 rings? Wait, what? I wonder if he was actually starting for any of those. Looks like this one he might have been. Okay. Interesting. This guy, basically was a backup for 8 years and then became starter. 67. Weird. But yeah, since he's been a starter, he's taken them into the playoffs. Now his passer rating is honestly not that good, but that is an interesting option. Let's go look at Washington real quick, just to see what kind of team they're working with. Oh wow, wait a second. I know the guy was 34, but he's already 14 years in the league. Okay, never mind. I'm not interested anymore. I thought that I was getting like a 34-year-old that was like 10 years in the league, not 14 years. All right. In that case, I know I'm not going to be able to afford that defensive end. I also don't need one. This wide receiver could be a decent pull-in, especially for a young quarterback that we're probably going to get. Wow, what is going on? This guy's only been in the league 5 seasons and he's already 30. So this guy was a or what am I looking for? An older guy. He's coming off of a great season. Not many drops. I might try to target this guy. Stanley Rayburn. Although, yeah, I'm not going to have the money for that, actually. To be honest, looking at free agents this season is probably useless. Denver. Yeah, we're not going to be able to pay the guy anything close to that. All right. Let's just hop straight into the draft, I guess. Let's look at this just for another second here. So I do need a safety. Another corner could be nice. If you watched season 1, you know safety was always a pain point for us. We have this decent safety, but he's probably done after this year. Our linebacker situation is also not pretty. Yeah, maybe pulling in another secondary player or linebacker would be good. See how this guy's been looking. In my opinion, that is not a great last 2 seasons. However, you can get him for cheap, probably. And his bars are decent, so I say we give this guy a shot. Let's go ahead. Oh, wait. Season 1. Look at my contract. I completely forgot I have to look at my own contracts. All right. Center. Let's negotiate him. That is not bad for a good center. So we'll go ahead, accept that. This actually could either do great or terribly for our numbers. Let's see. Running back, we're going to have to pay him eventually. See if this guy will negotiate for a longer deal. Requesting 15. So that's going to ease us up, but I'm still going to be paying him that. Overall, I think this is actually a good deal for us. We'll go ahead and accept that. All right. How much are we paying this fullback? Fullbacks in this game are generally not paid much at all. He's giving us a team deal overall there, so let's go ahead and take that. What about this kicker? How's he been doing? Oh, he's actually done decently. Not a long distance kicker, not at over 50, but overall good numbers. We'll accept that deal. Backup / starting running back. He's asking for a lot. I really don't have the money for that. This guy will probably retire, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then I don't want to take on any of these guys. All right. All right. In stage 1. Give one shot here to this guy. Ooh, he's actually asking for a lot more than I was anticipating, considering his numbers don't look that good. Never mind. Here's an outside linebacker. really good pass rush, and he's had 200-yard seasons back to back. Oh, this is a guy that I like those numbers and bars on. Let's see what he's asking for. Outside linebacker. He's actually not asking for much, considering the situation. Let's try getting him here. All right. Yeah, okay. I don't have the money to do anything. All right. We're going to have to go straight into draft, basically. Man, this team was in salary cap hell in TakeOver, which I was not anticipating. All right, let's see here. It's considered underrated. Those bars are decent. Not the best deep passer, but I'm okay with that. I like that all of these are high. Kind of the middle ground pass is good. I like him. I'm going to mark him with a red. Bart Hines. Considered overrated. Also not that much of a deep passer. Those bars are not as promising. Now, here becomes the question, because we ran into this in season 1. Assuming Brandon, I'm not sure how you would say that last name, Vajda? Something like that. Assuming he does go, do we take Bart Hines? I feel like the answer is that we have to. He's really good at the short passes. His accuracy is high. His sense rush, read defense, 2-minute offense. I think the best way to put this is I would much rather have Brandon, but if Bart is still here, I think that we have to take him. And then we should get one more player up here interviewed, just in case these are the two first off the board. We then will go with option 3. I feel like offensive line is probably not what I should be focused on. We could try going for a corner, although we have 2 decent corners. Neither are outstanding. I would assume a 3rd overall pick would be better rated than at least this guy, but may not be the best option. Our defensive front is already killing it. We have a really good young running back. So realistically, we would probably either be looking at this outside linebacker or this wide receiver. Those bars do look incredible, as do those. Let's go ahead and interview this guy. That's a very promising young wide receiver. How old is that guy actually? He's 21. Okay. Then we'll also take a look at this guy real quick. Underrated. Could arguably be a better option. So that's going to be our round 1. Round 2, we have a very high round 2. So we could potentially get 3rd quarterback on the board here. Let's take a look at this guy. Nope, not liking those bars. We might be able to land like 4th wide receiver. Those bars are pretty nice. 6'3", so he has a little bit of height to him. All right. It's a promising option. Let's see. We got ourselves... I think we do need to take a look at some of these later round quarterbacks here. So let's just look at quarterbacks for a second. That accuracy worries me, but let's interview him. Very overrated. All right, we're not going with him. Okay. This guy is interesting. Dion Knotts. So, the thing about him, his accuracy is not wonderful. It's better than the last guy we looked at. It's about a 50. He's got the screen passing and long passing. And then timing, sense rush are both high. Read defense is high. 2-minute offense, not so much, but he's a scrambling quarterback. So, I mean, looking at this guy coming out of college, I would say that a lot of people would probably point at these bars and think of somebody like Lamar Jackson, which, could work out, could not work out. Let's interview him. He's as scouted. Bars really didn't move. Let's see where he would potentially go. So he was 5th quarterback. There's 3. So he would probably go late 2nd round, would be my guess. He could be an interesting option. Honestly, he really could. The other nice thing about him is that he does have almost 50% development already. So he could probably step in as starter as a rookie. I'm just basically going to click down here and see if there's anybody that really stands out. Like, to be honest, for how far down this guy is, those bars are decent. Let's interview him real quick. Very overrated. Never mind. All right. I think those are the 3 that we need to try for. Then let's use our other 2. What does the game say we need? Let's always look at that. QB, safety, wide receiver. All right. Let's take a look at some of these safeties. How high up on the board is that top safety? That top safety will definitely go 1st round, but he is relatively far down on this list. He could be an interesting option if we by chance have any chance of landing him. Let's see, here's a... Nope, he doesn't have good bars. Oh, those bars look really nice. Young guy, he's only 5'9", 189, but those bars are really nice. Considered overrated, but his bars remained high. I'm still going to mark him as a red. Another decent option, considered overrated. Actually, I'm going to mark both of those as blue. Very overrated. Wonderful. Well, I guess we narrowed out 3 that we probably don't want. All right. Interesting options that we're going to have. Again, we really don't have any money for this, so let's go ahead and just blow through free agency here. We're going to have to go draft and then get some cheap guys in late free agency. All right. Close. Prepare. We're going to keep this thing on normal here to get us started out. See how this goes. First overall by the Indianapolis, I don't know what their name is in this game, Indianapolis. They go wide receiver. Interesting. Now, real quick, Indianapolis is the team that has the decent 2nd-year quarterback, so that is actually not a surprising one. We are hoping that second team here goes somebody besides Brandon, basically. Because Brandon would be our first choice. Let's see who they go. New York selects Brandon. All right. I feel like we got to, right? I don't feel like there's enough. I feel like if I don't pick this guy, I'm going to regret it. And I feel like if I pick this guy, I'm going to regret it. I don't feel confident in this pick. But based on what we saw happen in the first season, I think that this is something that we have to go for. So let's do it. All right. We got ourselves the quarterback of the future. Let's see what else we have options of here. Deion Knotts did remain on the board, but I don't see a point in selecting him, especially with this pick. All right, we're already seeing him in the list, and he's currently rated as a 4, but he's supposed to get up hopefully to a 68. So that at least is a good outlook for him. We definitely could use a inside linebacker. We could definitely use a safety. I would say those are probably wide receivers also up there. So, did any of the wide receivers that we liked make it this far? No. Let's take a look back here then. Let's take a look at this inside linebacker. We didn't get a chance to interview him. He's 22, 5'10", 230. Bars look great. He's cheerful. I love that. So let's go ahead and take this guy. I think this is a relatively safe pick. Those numbers out of college or at the combine are wonderful. He's also only 17% developed. So our 2 picks are relatively low development. All right, big question now. Do we bother also getting Dion Knotts? Is this one of those cases of RG3 and Cousins where it's like, hey, we went to stud first round. I think Cousins was like 4th round if I remember correctly. I do like this guy. And I think that based on his development, honestly, it might cause like a conflict though. Maybe we shouldn't do that. See what else we got up here. We got another inside linebacker up there that looks good. To be honest, that guy looks good too. All right, we have 3 linebackers here that are all decent. How's this corner look? Corner doesn't look bad. I feel like those other players looked better though. That tackle doesn't look half bad. We have 2 decent tackles though. Man, there are a lot of linebacker options. And we need linebackers, so what do you say? I had to say maybe we should just go for it. Wow, what the hell? Alright, let's see. I don't oh no, this guy actually looked fine. He actually identifies as an inside linebacker, which is probably better for us anyway. He's 50% developed, so he should be able to plug right in. Did I just take the right player? Yeah, I did. Okay. Whew. For some reason, I thought it said I took a corner. All right. Now I think, if I remember correctly, we're now officially at RG3 Cousins situation. Dion Knotts is sitting here available. I say we take him. Let's just take him. I liked him in the interview, so we're taking him. All right, we got ourselves a number of linebackers again, which, to be quite honest, they all still look pretty darn good in terms of their bars. Like, what the heck is this? What? I don't know. But let's look here. There's the one line. So the one linebacker that we drafted in the 2nd round is actually potentially rated higher than our quarterback. The other 2 are not showing in here yet. What do I actually specifically need at this point? I do still need another outside linebacker, and I need offensive weapons, basically. So, with that in mind, the top 2 linebackers remaining identify as inside linebackers. These 2 both identify as outside. Those bars look really nice. He's good at pass strength or pass rush strength, and then his like defensive bars are all really high. I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy as well. So what if we drafted 2 quarterbacks and 3 linebackers now? All right, back on the clock. We know that we're gonna need some help in offense. So let's see if there's any decent tight end to still draft. None of these are looking too promising. All right, let's look at any wide receivers that are still looking okay. That is actually decent, and he did. Wait, is Blue? Yeah, Blue is still a great score, and he did great in 3 of the combine activities. He definitely looks so far like the best remaining option. This guy doesn't look bad. Those bars are not great, but he got a really high strength rating. He actually did really good at the combine in general. I'm gonna mark him. I'm gonna go with the top guy for now, though. We're back. Let's take this guy. Shot in the dark, but his combine numbers looked ridiculous. And then, is there a position that I can specifically basically fill right now? Still needed a tight end. Tight end and outside linebacker are the 2 that I desperately need. This guy's like a really high run blocker, so let's go ahead and just take him. We're a good running team, or at least our running situation seems to be well rated, so let's see how that pans out. Especially because of the increase in how expensive everything is, this is probably not enough money. See how our draft picks did. So, middle linebacker, great. Quarterback, great. Another middle line. So 2 of the linebackers that we picked. So basically, all 3 of our first round, or our first 3 picks, rounds 1 through 3, all ended up either at a 68 to a 71 future estimate, which is awesome. Again, that will fluctuate, but I'm overall happy with that. Let's see, we have a guy holding out. Let's go ahead and just release it. The little exclamation point means he's holding out, right? Yeah, holding out. Let's just release him. I can't deal with that. I need to be able to fill in these roles. Do I have anybody else holding out? No. Okay. Dion Knotts also ended up being a super low rated QB. So we'll see how he develops over a year, but very happy I went Bart Hines right now as opposed to relying on that guy. Cool. Let's do, what do we need? We need at least 2 outside linebackers, a tight end, punter, and long snapper. I need more money though. Ugh. I am going to need more money for that. That is beautiful. 2 years in a row with 11 sacks. Let's go. This guy's done pretty darn well himself. Pretty good. All right, this guy didn't do all that well last year. Let's see if he'll negotiate his salary with us. It's going to be 14, 21. Okay, this will give us a little bit of money back. Very little, but gave us some. And then let's see if we can convince this guy down a little bit. That's going to come out about even. Okay, so that guy's not really giving us anything. This guy should negotiate himself down a lot. He's not willing to. I need the money. All right. Not the best of situations in terms of wide receiving core, but we'll see what we can get in free agency here. Gotta do it through here. Free agents. All right, another middle linebacker appears to have made it through. Let's just take him, if nothing else. If we get all of these middle linebackers that are all even close to what they claim to be, then we are going to be sitting high. This punter looks incredible. I will pay. I'll pay a decent penny for a good punter. Let's see. We need outside linebacker. Rookie that does not look all that promising, but at this point I just basically need bodies to fill it, especially with how little money we have to work with this season. And all of our outside linebackers are going to be rookies, it looks like. Let's see. What else did I need? I don't even remember. Tight end. That guy is going to cost a lot. Sorted here, tight end. And then to be honest, I would love to pull in a valid long-time quarterback. If nothing else, just to help train the young guys. We'll see if we can get anything like that going. This guy looks decent. Not asking for too much. Let's see how much money we have after a round or two here. We got one of the tight ends. Everybody else is pending. Denver, we signed punter and one of the linebackers and the other tight end. All right, cool. So that means that we should now be down to... Oh, wait, we signed one of the inside linebackers. So we still need outside linebackers, long snappers. How much money do we have left? Denver, we don't have much. Okay. See what we can find here. Quarterback. I don't particularly care about the quarterback's future estimate because I'm hoping that the other guy's going to take in. I really want to find a guy that's going to be like a leadership situation. Or I think it might be intelligence that will help with what we're dealing with here. High leadership, high intelligence. He doesn't really have any experience though. Mentors, quarterbacks. To be honest, I never use it. I feel like, let's try this real quick. I want quarterback, free agents. You can't base it on, you can only base it on their actual ratings. Okay, that's not what I want then. I think this guy is a decent option. He's been in the league a long time, many years starting experience. Never did all that great. What's he recovering from? A serious knee injury. But you know what? In my eyes, like, even if he can come in for a year and try to like bolster our team a little bit and get everybody in the right mindset, I feel like that's going to be worth it. I'm going to try to give him a 1 year, $8 million deal. See if he accepts it. And then we know we're going to need a long snapper. A decent looking long snapper. Hey, listen, I'll offer you an extra $100,000 to come over here. Let's see, at this point, we're probably going to be completely out of money. Yep. So we did get the quarterback. That's the long snapper and the 2 linebackers. And does that fill out our roster? It does. All right. Man, talk about being in money hell to start this thing off. Let's freaking go. Let's go. We're at the preseason. We're going to simulate through preseason here and get into the thick of it. Let's see. So we're we're not favored by 13 points. Let's take a actually wait, this doesn't update I think until after the first game. Let's quick see though. Interesting, Dion actually did step in, it looks like, as our quarterback potentially. Yeah, let's see, as of right now, Bart Hines is not listed as a starter for us. That's fine. We'll simulate week 1. Take a look at things. All right, perfect way to start things off. That's what I'm talking about. We lost 40-0. I love it. All right, 40-0. Let's take a quick look here. Let's see how bad that went. Team summary, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so quarterbacks played horrendously. Let's go quarterbacks. At this point, you can't even blame the defense, right? Like, quarterbacks combined went for an average passer rating of apparently a 24.6. I'm actually interested, how the hell did it come to that number? Because that's below both. I guess it just takes all of this and it says if this was a quarterback, it would give this rating. Okay. So yeah, absolutely horrible. 3 interceptions. I mean, yeah, I can't even blame a defense with how bad that offense was. Let's simulate 3 weeks here and see if things get any better. We actually won week 2. We won week 3. All right, we're 2-2. Let's take a look at that summary again. Now we have a little bit more numbers to work with. All right, quarterback's not doing well. Running game is, I mean, based on our rank, isn't doing well, but our main running back is averaging 5.2, which I'm overall okay with. Passing core is a mix. Yeah, I mean, right now we're just like completely like bottom third in everything, basically. So let's see if. Oh, we're also dealing with a number of injuries. What do we have going on here? Separated shoulder. That's not good. Sprained patellar. I don't know what the hell that is. Some kind of tendon. Same guy I just clicked on. Knee tendonitis. That's not good. Hyperextended knee. Perfect. Well, this is pulled groin. All right. So we're dealing with a number of injuries. Team overall just does not seem to be all that put together. Yeah, we're going to do the Monday night game known as the 1-3 Tennessee. Let's see how we do here. Did we win? Snaps, we did. All right, 27-14. Got crushed by Houston. Another 3-3 team in California here. We beat them by a point, so we're 4-3. As a reminder, season before this, Denver ended 4-11-1. So we already have the same number of wins. Here we're going up against, real quick, this is the trade deadline. Let's take a quick look. Just take a see here. So Richie, who is the guy that we brought in, who's older and stuff like that, he's basically taken the starting role. It's interesting, though, that man. Knott's is 2 touchdowns for 6 interceptions right now. Has he put in some of that running game that we were expecting? Hey, put 137 yards on the ground so far. That's not that bad. It's interesting though that they're like basically splitting through 7 games now. All right, keep things moving. I'm assuming. I wonder if our coaching staff will put in Bart Hines before the end of the year, so we can kind of see what we're working with. We lost to Jacksonville. Going up against Kansas City. We beat Kansas City. Going up against Las Vegas. We lost to them. We're 5-5. All right, 5-5. Let's run our little playoff window thing. Playoff probabilities. All right. So we basically have no shot right now of finishing first in our conference. And to be honest, overall, we only have a 37% chance of getting in right now. So let's see how things go. It's interesting that we're 6th, but we're only a 37% chance of getting in. Though I guess that makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. What am I talking about? All right. Lost to San Fran. Come on. Let's beat Pittsburgh. Oh, man. All right. Going up against Los Angeles, who seems to be a significantly better team than us. They put us in our place. Although, I got to say, outside of week 1, I don't feel like we're losing these games by like some drastic amount. I say that and then we lose 31-3. All right. At 5-9, we're not making playoffs. So let's just go ahead and finish this off here. We actually beat Seattle, who was 10-4. All right, simulate. All right, 6-10. Reminder: this game was built during the 16-game season, so we're not going to be seeing a 17th game like there is this year in the actual NFL. But season we took over, they finished 4-11-1. We're now 6-10. And to be honest, at 6-10, we let's take a quick look here. Detroit versus Houston. Let's see who takes it. Detroit is going to take the first episode of our season 2. Let's take a quick look though. Did Bart ever actually get any starting time? It doesn't look like it. So he basically sat behind Reginald Ritchie and Dion Knotts. Dion Knotts actually didn't really full start. So it was basically Reginald kind of took the leader's cap, said, I'm going to run this ship. Took us to a losing season, but that's fine. I think Bart coming in as a starter next year is probably good anyway. Give him a year to learn a little bit, get up to speed. Let's see. This rookie, look at that. 3rd round, 3rd pick. Played every game this season. 100 tackles as a rookie. Did he by any chance get Rookie of the Year or something? He did! Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go. All right, Alan. Let's go. Then, did this guy ever see the field? He did see the field a couple of times. Did he? Well, he dealt with a number of injuries, but all right. His numbers are still looking, or his stats are still looking good. All right. Well, you know what? I could be wrong, but I think for season 1, things are looking a little bit more promising than they did in our first season together. We will see how this pans out, though. I am excited to be back with this game, excited to be running this series again, and I will see you guys for episode 2. Till then, AyyScare out.